The Senate has adjourned for the weekend after failing to pass competing bills to pay federal workers. The government shutdown is now in its 24th day as lawmakers simply refuse to see eye to eye.
I think the Democrats have gone totally crazy.
When it comes to the Republican approach, cruelty is the point.
It's for the Democrats' political leverage.
All right, that's what each side is saying. CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small has been following this for 4 weeks now. Taurean, the language seems the same. The shutdown is still on, and now some folks aren't getting their paychecks. So what's the holdup?
Well, we see that the remaining issues have been the same since the beginning of the shutdown, and that's Democrats want to ensure that their voices are heard on this continuing resolution. Any comprehensive bill has to include health care subsidies that were set to expire at the end of the year. They want to ensure that that's extended, and then also they want to create guardrails so the president can't just unilaterally decide to pare back spending that he agreed to appropriate, which would be through Congress, obviously, since it holds the power of the purse. We are starting to see some cracks in this stalemate through standalone bills. We saw two Democrats, and Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock of Georgia, side with Republicans on a standalone bill to fund federal workers and military troops. But ultimately, that bill failed because some Democrats say it didn't go far enough. They want to see that same compensation extended to furloughed workers as well. Chris Van Hollen, another Democrat, put forth a similar bill that failed. But we know Senator Ron Johnson, who sponsored the initial bill, is willing to work with Van Hollen on changing the language, creating something that's a bit more palatable so that that can go forward. Also, there's legislation in the works that would see funding for air traffic controllers. So there are different measures here in play that we could see potentially come to fruition next week. There seems to be a bipartisan appetite to get something done. It just might not be as comprehensive as leadership wants it to be.
Right, and you know what's interesting is you mentioned air traffic controllers. We're what, a month away or so from Thanksgiving, and there are two things people are concerned about: food and travel. So how might this impact people's lives?
Yeah, and making this even more complicated, Arrow, is the fact that this continuing resolution, as it stands, the one that passed out of the House, would only fund the government through mid-November, through November 21st. So it doesn't solve the issue there. That is what people are flagging now, is potential travel could be a nightmare. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, at the start of the shutdown, said that he was already seeing significant delays to travel because of what's known as sick outs. These air traffic controllers, these TSA agents, are calling out sick because they're not being compensated. States like Pennsylvania, New Jersey said that they received a letter from the Department of Agriculture at the middle of October warning that a lapse of funding from the government could mean a stop to pay or payments for SNAP food stamps, these critical safety net services. So this is all that some things that Congress is cognizant of as they're continuing with these negotiations. And again, it appears the pathway forward could be these standalone bills that rank and file members are looking to push through, Errol.
Constituents want some type of solution, no matter what side of the aisle they are on. All right, Taurean Small, great reporting. We appreciate you as always.